Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Riverside Theatre Cast Chat, where we get to talk to the performers and directors that have worked at Riverside over the past few years. Today, we have the privilege of talking to a triple threat, and by that I mean an incredible actress, dancer, and singer in Abby Church. Hi, Abby.
Hi, nice to see you.
Well, it's great for you to take some time and talk to us about some of the productions that you've been here, that you've performed in here at Riverside. Um, the first one you did was I Love a Piano, which was featured the
hmm
music of Irving Berlin. And then you did Crazy for You, which featured the music of George and Ira Gershwin. And then
hmm
this past season you did Millie in Thoroughly Modern Millie. So let's start off with the first show, the Irving Berlin show, which was I Love a Piano. This is
Yeah.
a show that just featured his music. There wasn't a book, there wasn't a story going through the whole show. How is it as a performer to do that type of show as opposed to like Crazy for You that did have a book, a story from beginning to end?
It was really interesting. It was my first time doing kind of more of a, I guess a jukebox musical feels like the wrong word when talking about Irving Berlin, but it was kind of that concept. There was a bit of an overarching theme of this piano, but other than that, we got to play a bunch of different characters throughout history, which I thought was really neat because we got to sing in so many different styles. Because we started in like the 1910s with very Tin Pan Alley sound, and we ended essentially at present day. And it was really challenging vocally because essentially, because there wasn't really a book, the whole song was pretty much sung, and there were only six of us. So it was a lot of like really tight harmonies and tons of really fun vocal features. And I mean, I loved it. It was a really, really fun challenge.
And DJ, as a director, also added a lot of choreography and dancing
Yes.
as well.
Yes, I remember the in the like flapper scene, there was like a prohibition 1920s thing that was just insane. I remember there were all of these different shapes for different words. And so we were not only completely out of breath trying to sing, but it was also like a little bit of one of these, trying to do all the various things. It was really fun. I mean, he did a wonderful job with the show. And the whole cast, I mean, when you only have six people, it's really important that everyone pull their own weight, and everyone on that show was just incredible. So I felt very lucky to be a part of it.
And by DJ, I meant DJ Salisbury, who we've already had an episode with him talking about of all
Oh, good.
many of the shows that he's participated in, he's directed. Um, Crazy for You was one of my favorites. I saw a production of it when it first reopened, I guess you can say, on Broadway in the 90s. And the show is just so much fun. There's so much comedy
Oh, oh.
as well. Oh, I love her.
Sorry, this is
Hello.
my kitten.
Hi, baby.
That's that's Dr. Anthony Miauchi. I apologize. Please continue.
Dr. Anthony Miauchi. I love it.
Yes.
Well, I was just saying that Crazy for You, there's so much comedy as well as
hmm
very intimate and heartfelt moments. How did it feel doing that sort of type of show?
Oh, I mean, that show is so incredible. And the production at Riverside was so wonderful because the sets and the costumes, I just feel like it was like full out. Every single element of it was like the top. I mean, we had a girl popping out of a car. We had this full ensemble and chorus and these massive sets. And so the whole thing just felt like really fabulous. And to sing that music, I mean, I will say Polly was more of the straight man in the show. Drew Nellison, who played Bobby, was just hysterical. He had so many comic bits. And one of my biggest challenges was just not cracking up at him because I was supposed to be, mostly skeptical of him pretty much the whole show. And it was so hard because he was so funny. But I truly think like the Gershwin ballads, there's nothing better. I mean, I feel so lucky that I've worked in some of these classic composers with Berlin and Gershwin, but Gershwin's just the tops for me. There nothing beats it. And singing "Someone to Watch Over Me" and "But Not for Me." I mean, these songs are just so iconic, and it was just wonderful. It was heaven.
And the harmonies that you mentioned, the way it was orchestrated, the way the whole show was put together, not just here at Riverside, but it's so well put together. It really tells a beautiful story, but it also makes it accessible to the audience to really follow along.
Yeah, and it was such a fun way to incorporate so many of the original Gershwin songs, and it was I mean, it's a show that is relatively new. It was written, I think, in the late 80s, early 90s, but obviously using all the Gershwin music. But the story was based on, I'm blanking on the name of it, but a
Girl Crazy.
show. Yes, Girl Crazy from way, from much, so they pulled parts of that, I think the kind of cowboy Western element and certain things, but it was just so expertly done. It felt like the music was written for that show, which is really a testament to the book writers because these were standards, and to take something so well known, these songs that are so well known, and manage to make them feel fresh and relevant for the characters in the show is really impressive, but oh god, it was so much fun.
And Jimmy Brennan was the director and did a phenomenal job with the dance numbers, especially I Got Rhythm just went on,
Oh,
and
on
people
and on.
just wanted it to go on. They wanted it to go on.
But gosh, it had so many different elements. And I remember I was a few days late to the rehearsal process because I was finishing up another show, and I came in and they'd already learned like a whole bunch of it. And then even still, they're all of a sudden he's like, okay, so now this is the saw section. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And there were spoons. And then they had, all the dancing and the tapping and the chorus girls. I mean, it was just, it was absolutely incredible. I mean, that number I feel like it's like 8 minutes or something. I mean, it was really long. And I joined late, and I feel like it took days to learn it all because there were so many individual elements. It was so cool. It was amazing. And Deanna Dees recreated the Susan Stroman original choreography for that too. So that was really impressive because it's just a massive amount of dance in that show.
Beautiful show. And another show that you were just recently in, Thoroughly Modern Millie,
Yes.
last season. Lots of show, choreography, lots of beautiful sets, lots of comedy in that as well, based on the Julie Andrews movie. Had you ever seen the movie before?
I hadn't. And I watched it either right before or right after I got the job. It might have been before the auditions, just because I'm so familiar with the stage show because I grew up with it. That was like one of my first big shows when I was, I guess, maybe a young teen when that came out. I don't remember exactly when, and I was completely obsessed with the music for obvious reasons, and Sutton Foster and the whole thing. So I was really familiar with that, but it was very cool to see the original movie and see all of the parts they kept and then the parts they didn't, which I think were pretty smart. I think it's a very good adaptation of something from the screen to the stage, keeping all the comedy. And that was so fun because I didn't have to play the straight man. I got to do lots of physical comedy, lots of very goofy stuff, which is fun because usually female leads are just romantic, and they're just this or that. And Millie is just a pistol.
She definitely is a pistol. She was a woman of her age, before her age, in essence.
Yes, very much so.
So what was your impression of Riverside when you first came? Your first show here was I Love a Piano so many years ago. And how has your impression of the theater built or grown, hopefully grown?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was amazed even the first time I was here. It was interesting because it was the fall slot. So it wasn't it was still beautiful in New York. So it was beautiful down there, but I do feel like one of the big draws as an actor, both of the other shows I've done have been in December and January, and there's nothing better than leaving New York this time of year. It's so cold and nasty here. So that would be a draw all by itself. Even if it were kind of a terrible theater, I feel like people would want to come because it's warm. But Riverside is it is such a class act. Everything to me is just top notch, which is not always true in regional theaters. I mean, it's such a varying range between the funding that they have and the facilities, and the housing especially can be really iffy. And then obviously the talent they can pull. And Riverside manages to have this incredible facility. It's so beautiful, tons of rehearsal space, plenty of room, which is very rare. And then the housing, when I was there, when I was there for I Love a Piano, we were in a little like bungalow house, which was fine. It was nice. But then when I was there for Riverside, I was in more of a condo, when I was there for Crazy for You, I was in a condo. But then this last time, the Star Suites, I feel like the housing was already great, but now it's next level because it was so fun because we were all together where the whole cast is in one spot and you all have these gorgeous suites to yourself. So I feel like Riverside already had the whole package because it had the theater and the talent it pulls. And now to have this beautiful housing, it's really like icing on the cake. I mean, I think pretty much everyone I know in New York is dying to work there because it has a very good reputation, and word gets around, people whenever you go to a new job, you ask your friends who've been there, like, what's it like? What do I need to know? What do I need to watch out for? Give me the real scoop. And everyone's like, oh, I hear Riverside's amazing. Is it amazing? And you're like, yeah, it's as good as it sounds. It really is.
That's
But
very
it's
nice.
true. It's true.
It's a testament to the board of directors that really supports Alan Cornell's vision. Alan is a CEO and producing artistic director, and his vision is to make sure that what's on stage is the best quality. And in order to get the best quality, we have to make sure that the actors are taken care of. And so having that from Alan is a tremendous edict that now I see behind you some show posters,
Oh.
and I'm assuming they are shows that you've been in.
Yes. These are all shows I've done in New York, or except for Billy Elliot, which I did the first national of that. So that was in Chicago, but these are kind of my big shows that I've been a part of.
Interesting that you have Billy Elliot. Will be doing Billy Elliot this coming year.
Oh, I heard that.
Well, let's see. Well, Abby, we are thrilled that you have come down and shared your wonderful talent with us and our audience. Thank you so much for the time you've taken here. It's short and sweet, but we got a chance to see you again, and we're hoping that you'll be back next year with us in another production.
I would love that. It's so nice to see you again, and just to hear that you guys are all hanging in there during this tough time.
We are. Best of luck. We'll see you soon, and keep triple threating. That's the thing. Acting, dancing, and singing on stage. We love you.
Right,
Thank you.